What have you heard about fasting and ulcers? What have you heard about fasting and ulcers? What do you think is the connection, link, relationship, correlation, or association between fasting and stomach, gastric, or peptic ulcers? So, what have you heard about fasting and ulceration? Do people say that fasting will cause you to develop and suffer stomach ulcer? Ladies and gentlemen, right from antiquity to date, a considerable proportion of the world's human population practices fasting. They do that for either one of two purposes or for both purposes. One of the purposes is termed religious purposes. Christians and Muslims, for example, do fast at certain times of each year as individuals and in groups. Another purpose of fasting is to adopt a healthier lifestyle, such as intermittent fasting. Did you know during fasting, the person or the people involved undergo considerable metabolic changes which tend to alter their internal environment to a considerable extent? Ladies and gentlemen, does the alteration of the internal environment of the people who fast include development of stomach ulcer? Is it possible that there are some people who do not fast at all because they are afraid that fasting will cause them to develop and suffer stomach ulcer or ulcers? Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think is meant by ulcer or ulcers? What are the causes of ulcers according to the National Institute of Health, or NIH for short? Ladies and gentlemen, according to a publication of the National Institute of Health in the year 2022, stomach ulcers are also referred to as gastric ulcers, and that they are sores which develop on the lining of the stomach of the victim. The authorities of the National Institute of Health have also indicated that someone can also get ulcers in parts of the intestine just beyond the stomach. They say that such ulcers are known as duodenal ulcers. In other words, we have stomach ulcers and we have duodenal ulcers. They are at times referred to as peptic ulcers, and that they cause the same symptoms. We are also told that the ulcers under consideration are treated the same way. Did you know the commonest symptom of a stomach ulcer is a burning or gnawing pain sensed by the victim in the center of the tummy or the abdomen? The pain can truly be painful. Please, have I suffered from an ulcer? No, please. But they say that it can be very painful. Some of my friends can testify to that. They are very beautiful, and you sure will love to meet some of them and know something more about ulcers by their experience one day soon. Note, ladies and gentlemen, take note of the fact that stomach ulcers are not always painful. Furthermore, some of the victims of stomach ulcers may experience indigestion, heartburn, and acid reflux, among other symptoms. Ladies and gentlemen, stomach ulcers happen when there is damage to the layer that protects the stomach lining from the acids in your stomach. So, what causes stomach ulcers? The NIH has indicated that one predominant cause of stomach ulcers is an infection with Helicobacter pylori, or you can simply say H. pylori. For those of you who are not scientists or biologists, to be precise, note that H. pylori is a bacterium, and therefore you can call it a germ, a pathogen, or a causative agent. The second cause of ulcers, according to the NIH, is taking anti-inflammatory medicines or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. For those of you who are not medical doctors, pharmacists, or other health professionals, take note of the fact that non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs are medicines which are extensively used to relieve pain, reduce inflammation, and bring down a high body temperature. Examples of such drugs are ibuprofen or aspirin. They particularly cause ulcers when they are taken for a long time or at high doses. Ladies and gentlemen, many people are comfortably taking and perhaps enjoying heavy doses of these drugs without knowing that they could suffer ulceration one day soon. Did you know once upon a time it was thought that stress or certain foods might cause stomach ulcers, but there is little evidence to suggest that this is the case. Yes, those of you who think that certain foods might cause stomach ulcers, this is truly for your information. There is little evidence to suggest that certain foods might cause stomach ulcers. Yes, there is little evidence to suggest that certain foods might cause stomach ulcers. Ladies and gentlemen, somewhere in the year 1989, when I was 11 years old and in primary 4, two experts by surname Johnston and Wemsley conducted some research work on the effect of fasting on 24-hour gastric secretion of patients with duodenal ulcers resistant to ranitidine. The effect of fasting on 24-hour gastric secretion of patients with duodenal ulcers resistant to ranitidine. What did these two scientists do during this research? Ladies and gentlemen, they compared the effect of fasting and feeding on the anti-secretory actions of ranitidine in 19 patients whose duodenal ulcers remain unhealed or relapse in spite of treatment with the drug. What did the two scientists establish through that research work? Ladies and gentlemen, they established the fact that prolonged fasting can improve the control of gastric secretion and may allow resistant ulcers to heal. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, wow. And in what way does this research finding compare with what you know or what you have heard, and therefore think about fasting and ulceration or ulcers. So, you see, ladies and gentlemen, you are most probably learning something new right now. Are you not? Indeed, the Prestige Wellbeing Conference is truly didactic in nature. Do not hesitate to join the next session. You will discover for yourselves so many important truths or things which, when you are left alone, you may not know or discover throughout your life. And do not forget to share this information to many more people. Anyway, someone will say that the reference that I have indicated is old and obsolete. Is that what you are thinking? If so, just hold on. As of today, September 24, 2024, I can afford to say that I have been and remain the teacher for almost 8 calendar years. I have facilitated the learning of university students and many more people through the University of Education Winneba Mampong Ashanti Satellite Campus from the calendar year 2017 to the year 2020, and through the Akenten Apiaminka University of Skills Training and Entrepreneurial Development from that time to date. I have also facilitated the learning of many students and non-students through my community service through the Prestige Wellbeing Conference from the calendar year 2015 to date. I would like to inform you that I am aware that there have been some more publications, and I have actually gone through them. In the calendar year 2023, for example, Roy and View Takov explored the topic, the effect of Ramadan and intermittent fasting on the development of Helicobacter pylori-induced peptic ulcers. They searched the literature to identify a possible relationship between fasting and the development of Helicobacter pylori-induced peptic ulcers. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think they found through that research work? They found out through the research that remodeling of the gastric environment and increases in concentration of H. pylori were recorded during fasting. They found out through the research that remodeling of the gastric environment and increases in concentration of H. pylori were recorded during fasting. Be that as it may, they also found that fasting does not affect the incidence of peptic ulcers, and that those previous research works or studies that saw an increase in the incidence were not significant. They also established that there is no relationship between fasting and the risk of developing H. pylori-induced peptic ulcers. What do you think their research findings suggest? Their research findings suggest that individuals with uncomplicated ulcers are not at risk of developing further ulcers and can participate in fasting or fast, provided they take the recommended measures. Their research findings suggest that Individuals with uncomplicated ulcers are not at risk of developing further ulcers and can participate in fasts provided they take the recommended measures. Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear that? So what will you do the next time you hear that a session of the Prestige Wellbeing Conference is coming on in your community or on your university or SHS campus? And why would you not choose to become a member and possibly a co-sponsor of our activities? Or why would you not talk to people who could become co-sponsors of the Prestige Wellbeing Conference to come on board the PwC's airplane? Remember, you can be a co-sponsor and or a bringer of a co-sponsor. Great. Gratitude. Anyway, let me say a few more things about fasting on ulcers. Ladies and gentlemen, in the year after the death, resurrection, and ascension of the Lord Jesus Christ, 2019, 1 Matthew, not the tax collector, this one is called Matthew C.L. Phillips, investigated the topic fasting as a therapy in neurological disease. Fasting as a therapy in neurological disease. Look for the article after this presentation and enjoy it for yourself. You will appreciate the fact that fasting is deeply entrenched in evolution. You will be able to appreciate the fact that fasting induces an altered metabolic state that optimizes neuron bioenergetics, plasticity, and resilience in a way that may counteract a broad array of neurological disorders. Wow! Fasting induces an altered metabolic state that optimizes neuron bioenergetics, plasticity, and resilience in a way that may counteract a broad array of neurological disorders. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, wow. Choboy! Did you know it is not only human beings who fast? Animals also fast. Or if you are a biological scientist, you would like me to say that other animals too fast. Yes, animals, including human beings, do fast. So in case you admit to the fact that you are not a plant, fungus, protist, bacterium, or a member of the archaea, then you belong to the kingdom Animalia and your kindreds fast. So you too, you can choose to decide to fast intermittently. Only that you have to learn and fast the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, Phillips indicated that in the case of both human beings and other animals, fasting prevents and treats the metabolic syndrome, a major risk factor for many neurological diseases. In the case of animals, he wrote that there is the likelihood that fasting prevents the formation of tumors and that it possibly treats established tumors and improves tumor responses to chemotherapy. Can you imagine that? And how many of you, when you are left alone, will conduct your own literature search and know more about fasting beyond the rumor, hearsay, idle talk, tattle, scuttlebutt, the tale, or something like that? Did you know, ladies and gentlemen, did you know Phillips also established the fact that in the case of human ulcers, including those in the case of human cancers, including those cancers which are known to involve the brain itself, fasting goes right on to ameliorate chemotherapy-related adverse effects and may protect normal cells from chemotherapy. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know Phillips also established the fact that in the case of cancers, including those cancers which are known to involve the brain itself, fasting goes right on to ameliorate chemotherapy-related adverse effects and may protect normal cells from chemotherapy. Furthermore, the author established the following remarkable points which you do not wish to forget. 1. Fasting improves cognition. 2. It stores age-related cognitive decline. It stores age-related cognitive decline. 3. It usually slows neurodegeneration. 4. It reduces brain damage and enhances functional recovery after stroke. And 5. It mitigates the pathological and clinical features of epilepsy and multiple sclerosis in animal models. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, wow. So you can choose to fast, only that you must choose to fast the right way. Great, gratitude, enjoy. Cho boy, yay!